All right, we are here with the guys from ExUrbanLeague.com. I've got Kevin, I've got John. When did you guys decide to stop being yourselves?
I don't think I've ever started, quite frankly. You're seeing zombie Kevin right now. We started the blog in 2006, in August of 2006. It was an outgrowth of basically four friends just hanging out and talking about things, and we decided that what we talked about was just so wonderful, the entire world needed to hear it as well.
Yeah, and I'll ask you, John, why did you guys decide on Ex-Urban League for the name of your blog?
Really, a lot of talk was happening about the X-Urbs and the Ex-Urban vote, and the way Phoenix is set up, you have the urbs, the city of Phoenix, the suburbs, and then the X-Urbs. So, and it was also kind of nice too, the Ex-Urban League. We just wanted to, since we were a group of people, we thought it'd be a good idea to team up and bring in other people as well.
What does it take to be a blogger? I think that there's some mystery surrounding it. I think you take a Star Trek fan and you teach him to type, and voila, you got followers.
Yeah. Oh, I can't type, but I'm not that qualified. But I think really is just having a position on something and wanting to share it with people. What we try to do is, a lot of people get in there just to kind of vent their spleen, but we try to entertain and make people laugh as much as possible, and just share our opinions on whatever comes to mind, and really invite the readers to yell back at us and engage in a conversation. It's pretty fun.
Would you agree with that, Kevin?
I think, well, I don't think we've had any Star Trek references. No, I take that back. I had a Star Trek reference last month on the blog. What it takes, I think, is the reason I blog, quite frankly, is so I don't drive my wife crazy talking about politics all the time. You have to have your own voice, and you have to discover your own voice, and you can't just be somebody that takes the headlines from Drudge and reposts them on your blog and say, there's my blog, I've done. Everybody has something they know about and that they're an expert on, and that they can talk about in an engaging manner. And that's what a blog is. In our case, it just happens to be, a little mix of politics and a little mix of pop culture and a little mix of humor. Really little mix of humor.
Oh, I forgot to give these to you guys. These are, so everybody knows you're from Arizona.
Beautiful.
SB 1070, you can talk all about it. Since you don't have your Jan Brewer as Rosie the Riveter t-shirt with you, I figured these might these might come in handy.
We don't have the cactus thing either. That was kind of, that took off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for those who don't know, these guys had a little picture on their blog, and we stole it, frankly. And it was
we were honored.
It was a saguaro cactus with its middle digit, if you will,
middle tine,
protruding up right on the California border, where everybody has been beating us up. So tell me a little bit about your background. First off, we'll start with Kevin, because you're one of those people that's going to get stopped by the police constantly.
You're going to
get profiled. You come from a different country.
Yeah, I am still Canadian. I've lived here 25 years. I know I need to get my citizenship. I know.
You don't have to. Have
you seen the paperwork for that thing? It's like going to the DMV, but only less friendly. I'm the only person I think in the building who's actually had to go to, I think, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Now that'd be nice. They're nice people. Please let me stay in the country. I love America. I'm here by choice. But no, I guess I bring a little bit of different viewpoints at it, because a lot of things that Americans are steeped into, I had to grow into, and how you all just live and breathe, and the wonderful freedoms we have here is just amazing. There's no other country in the world like this. I'm misty-eyed. You can't see it. I love this country.
He's teary-eyed. I'll just tell you, this is HD, but you can't. We're not zooming. He is teary-eyed. But so you'll be excited when you know you're getting your citizenship, and they say now serving H-246.
Yeah, I think, and that's the way it is. I mean, I want I have two young sons, and I want them to see me vote. I want them to know that we have civic rights here, but we also have civic responsibilities. And the biggest one we have is to go through and vote the morons out of office, and bring in the morons that we like into office.
Yeah, and there's plenty of morons to choose from there. John, you grew up in the Valley, right? And in fact,
Yeah.
we had a discussion one time. Unfortunately, your childhood home is gone thanks to the 51, right?
It's been eliminated by when they built the Squaw Peak Freeway. They tore my house down so it cannot be a historic monument like I was planning. I was hoping, but lived in the Valley since I was 6, and so not quite a native, but close enough. And just like Kevin was saying about America, love for country, obviously. In the Navy before, which made me very sensitive to politics and what was going on. But also, too, just a love for Arizona, and something that really has been motivating me lately and motivating bloggers across the country who have no connection to Arizona is just the audacity of the attacks on Arizona. And even if you disagree with SB 1070, just an understanding that this is not the end of the world, and it is not, just screaming racism gets a little tiresome. So we've been covering that more than usual, but just love for the state, but also, too, again, just instead of screaming and ranting about things, laughing about it, because otherwise we'd go crazy. So
next time you talk about love for the state, I'd encourage you. You're free. Thank you very much. I just want to make sure that the station paid for them, so I'll get in trouble.
I feel like I'm answering a question in a quiz show.
So, interestingly, you guys weren't necessarily 100% behind SB 1070, and let's make a distinction there. There was SB 1070, and then there was the House bill that amended it, which kind of got you guys on board. Talk about that, and why in your conservative realm you had some uncomfortableness with 1070 originally.
Let me see if I can find my white card here, because this actually affects me.
Okay.
Driver's license, concealed carry permit. Here we go. I hope that doesn't show up and somebody steals my identity. But there's my white card.
That's better than that's the step up from. It's like the platinum version.
Yeah, I guess it is. I haven't tried to charge anything on it yet, but I'm good. I have to carry this around. There we go. I've had to carry this around since I walked across the border at Sweetgrass, Montana, in 1983. It is a federal law. If I'm not without this, I can get in a lot of trouble. SB 1070, as it currently is now, says I have to carry this around with me. It's the same stinking law. There's no difference. So if Arizona's racist, then Alaska to Miami is racist too. And there are people who believe that.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
No, but the initial law, as was written, was that lawful contact was the reason that a police officer can stop and ask for your, and that's too short. That was too low of a standard for me personally.
Okay.
Other people are cool with it, and that's cool. That's why they wrote. That's why we have this wonderful thing called the legislative process, because you get to go through and take the good. And in the words of The Fact of Life, and pop culture references, the way I always put in, you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have SB 10, and that doesn't rhyme.
What you talking about, Willie? Do you share the same concerns?
Yeah. My concerns. Well, a big thing, as we're seeing now with taxation and healthcare reform, is just a concern of an overreaching government. And looking at, I think it's great now that my party is ascendant in my particular state. But what if somebody on the left side took that lawful contact a step too far? So that was my only issue with it. I always agreed with the goals of it. But once they toned that down a bit and put in a couple just common sense protections, I was 100% on board, and that just took a week. And that's one thing that's been very frustrating, seeing the national media's misrepresentation of it. That's basically, immediately after a year of hearing how horrible it was that one crazy person put a Hitler mustache on a picture of Obama, the first reaction to the Arizona law was Nazi.
Well, there was a full-page ad in the New Times that showed it had Jan Brewer and Joe Arpaio with their hands raised, doing the Sieg Heil and swastikas on their arms.
Exactly, and I think everybody agrees. Well, everybody sane agrees with the goal of SB 1070. We have rules, and there's the old Dennis Miller line I've heard before. We have no problem with you coming up here. Just make sure you sign the guest book, and that's my attitude. It's a very small thing to request.
By the way, do you have to carry a white card since you're from Ahwatukee, or?
No, I don't. Thankfully, they haven't legislated that yet.
Because it's all white Tukey.
I have to carry my passport when I go to Surprise, because I live in Gilbert.
Yeah.